Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Mike Thompson. Amy DuPont has the night off. Our top story tonight, the crisis in Ukraine and the many connections to that crisis and our community. We've been bringing you updates on one West Salem man recently married in Ukraine. Tonight, News 8 Now's Dua Israr talked with a Ukrainian man who once called La Crosse home. Dua?
Mike, Volodymyr Valkov was a University of Wisconsin La Crosse exchange student in 2004. He now lives in Kyiv and says his neighbors are fighting to make sure their country doesn't fall to dictatorship.
During a time of war,
streets are empty. There's no public transportation. It's hard to get to places.
All you have are your neighbors.
Ukrainians are really helping each other at the scale I've never seen in Ukraine before.
Volodymyr Valkov was an exchange student at the University of Wisconsin La Crosse in 2004.
So many people emailing me from Wisconsin, La Crosse, Trempealeau, asking me how they can help and what's going on in Ukraine.
He moved back to Ukraine in 2010, working as a political analyst and an advocate for human rights.
And so what we are fighting for right now is basically the right to have human rights, the right to have our human rights respected.
Valkov, who now lives in Kyiv, believes his work is more important now than ever.
It's a lesson that democracy and human rights can be very fragile and can be destroyed very quickly.
He says the war has brought his community together.
There are many ways in which the community has found ways to connect and be even closer than before.
Neighbors are helping one another get groceries, clothes, and while some are seeking shelter,
life basically is paralyzed. Life has been put on hold, and people are all thinking about their safety.
Valkov says he'll stay in Kyiv.
I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose my country and my capital. So it feels like if I leave, that I'm helping them win, and this is making it harder for Ukraine to fight.
Because he believes there is a light at the end of this war.
Yes, it is sad. Yes, it is. But it's not a story of grief.
And his country will be stronger for it.
It's a story of courage and bravery in Ukraine.
Valkov says this war is a test for the entire international community. Mike.
All right, thanks a lot, Dua. The United Nations will hold an urgent debate on Thursday about war crimes committed by Russia.